Hello everybody, welcome to Fruitful Trees, and this is one of my most fruitful trees. This is an avocado tree, and there's so many different varieties of avocados, as you know if you follow this channel. This happens to be a super Hass avocado. Now, all the trees in my yard I purchased were 7 to 15 gallon trees. This tree was more money, bigger tree that I bought. I forgot what it was, but I think it was a 25. When I did get it, I was so excited because I love Hass avocados, and at the time I had a lot of Florida avocados. I didn't have any Hass avocados in the ground, and at the time I didn't know that Hass avocados can actually grow it here, called Florida Hass avocados. But there's many different types of Hass avocados. I recently had one called Carmen Hass. Then there's the common Hass you get. Then there's the Florida Hass. But this one is a super Hass, also known as Ooh La La. And pretty much they look just like a Hass. And you can see here two different colors. Because this particular one, and there's two names for it, there's Ooh La La and Super Hass, actually turns black when it's ready to be picked. So that's a good advantage of having this one. From my understanding, the season of all of the varieties of Hass here in Florida are similar. And this one's a very nice variety. I did have a concern that they weren't ripening evenly, but I think that's just when I was deciding to pick them, because this year I'm picking them at the right time and they're doing great. So you see there's a whole bunch of here on the tree, and some of them are green and some of them are black, which is also great because that means they'll give me a nice long season. They're all not getting ripe at once. Well, today on the show, I'm going to go to visit Alex at Tropical Acres Farms. And over there, he's going to be telling me about several of his avocados. And in this video specifically, we're going to talk about the Florida Hass avocado variety. So we're going to talk about Florida Hass. I definitely recommend you all get one. I did taste the Carmen Hass, and I did like that one. I only tasted a few of them, but I like that one the best so far. But they all do seem to be doing great. This one is just a really nice flavor. Every time I eat it, I'm more impressed with it. And they're all worth it to have. As long as they're going to ripen evenly, this is a good one to have. And as you can see here, I cut the tree, so it's not too tall. I actually just cut it back because we were getting a possible hurricane, but I like keeping it this size anyway. But you can see there's more than enough on here. And there's, even at this size, way too many more than I'm going to eat. I already gave some of them away. But here's Alex talking about the Florida Hass variety of Hass at Tropical Acres Farms. So here he goes. All right, everybody, here we are at Tropical Acres Farms, and we're going to be talking about a Hass avocado, because this is the one that you think only grows in California. But Hass avocado grows in Florida, Florida Hass.
Yeah.
And this is Alex, the owner here at Tropical Acres Farms. And this tree's loaded right now.
Yes.
With these avocados that you would find in a local supermarket. And these are Hass avocados, and we're in Florida, not California. So, hello, Alex. Thanks for having us come out and look at your tree here.
So, okay, so let's, to be clear, this is what we call Florida Hass. It is not the regular old school Hass. It is a Hass derivative. The ironic thing about this avocado is that even though it's called Florida Hass, it is not from Florida. This is an avocado that was growing over at the avocado research center that they have over at, I want to say it's UC Riverside or Irvine. I don't remember. Somebody on the internet can correct me in the comments, but it's one of those University of California branches in Southern California where they have a substantial avocado collection. And a number of Hass derivatives have been planted there over the years. And so back in the 70s or 80s, Lawrence Zill and I think Gary Zill, his son, were visiting there and saw this tree and decided to bring budwood back to Florida. And it was a number back then. I don't remember what number it was. Gary could tell you what number it was. But anyway, that avocado was brought back to Florida, and it did well in Florida compared to the regular Hass, and was close enough in terms of flavor and appearance that it got that name Florida Hass, which I guess to some people would be a misnomer since it's a California avocado. But it tends to produce better than Hass does in Florida, the regular Hass. It tends to produce larger fruit than the regular Hass. And the oil content's pretty close. They're not identical in terms of flavor. I would say Florida Hass's flavor is a little more mild. Now, this year, this tree made so much fruit that a lot of them came out undersized. And I probably should have thinned this tree if I wanted to get larger fruit off of it. Now, we have some that are more regular size. As you can see, this here is a little closer to regular size. see if I can find another example here. Here's one. This is kind of more prototypical size for this avocado in Florida. Okay, but because this made so much fruit, and I've already picked a number of them, but we still have a lot left, the fruit came out very undersized. So if you're trying to get this to size up a little bit more, probably the best thing to do is to thin them midway through the fruit development process, like maybe in the summer or so, and then just let those other ones hang on the tree to get a little bigger. But it does seem to perform better in Florida than the regular Hass. It sometimes can have issues with uneven ripening here in Florida. Not so much as the super Hass, as it's called, or the ooh la la avocado does, but it can get it. When there's not so much fruit on the tree, I've seen Florida Hass avocados get actually decent size, but that's rare. There are a lot of people who just don't want to eat Florida avocados, as they're called, or anything with any West Indian genes in it. They insist on having an avocado that has the oil content close enough to the Hass that they're familiar with. And so for those folks, those are the type of people that would want to consider growing a Florida Hass. The season on this avocado is basically October, November, December. I usually like to wait until November to start picking them, though. But you can pick them as early as October. And they'll last into December more years than not if you leave them on the tree, not really much later than that. But if you want to make like guacamole and stuff like that, this avocado is a very good choice for that. The oil content is such that the guac holds up and it's not watery if you use this avocado to make it. So I like it quite a bit. I think I probably like regular Hass a little better. But this has certainly performed better in terms of productivity than.
Is this an A-type or B-type avocado?
It is an A-type avocado.
Okay.
So it's an A-type.
Hass
that's
avocado.
Florida Hass.
Florida
yeah.
Hass is A-type.
Yeah, it's an A-type.
And how cold hardy is this?
Probably to the mid-20s would be my guess, but no more than that. I mean, it's probably got the same cold hardiness as Hass. And Hass, I think, is hardy to like 26 or something like that. I mean, the California growers know a little bit more about that than I do, but I've noticed that some of them complain about the lack of cold hardiness from Hass. It's certainly more cold hardy than most Florida avocados, though.
Can you do guacamole with the Super Hass?
Oh yeah, I've made guacamole with Super Hass. Super Hass's oil content is also excellent, and it's like similar enough to making guac with like the Hass from the supermarkets.
So if you had a Florida Hass, a California Hass, a Super Hass, and even a Carmen Hass, and what else is there? What other Hasses are common?
Oh, there's a bunch. I mean, there's lamb Hass, and there's all these other Hass derivatives that.
But if you had them all ripe, I mean, would you really know the difference?
You'll be able to tell the difference between some of them. Like, I can tell the difference between a regular Hass and this thing for sure. And the same thing with Super Hass. Now, if you ate them all at one time, maybe it would be hard to distinguish them after a bit. But
I've gotten Hass from the store, and sometimes you can tell a major difference.
Yeah.
In the store.
Right. Well, okay. So one thing about store-bought,
I know a lot has to do with when they pick them, refrigeration and all that.
That's a big deal. When they pick them and how they're stored and stuff like that has a major impact on the quality of the fruit that you'll get from the store. So I would say more often than not, if you grow a regular Hass avocado in Florida, you'll actually get better tasting fruit than you will from the supermarket. Not necessarily better tasting, well, I would say probably not better tasting than a Hass grown in somebody's backyard in Southern California, though. But like when they pick them correctly, the store-bought Hasses actually can be quite good, and they store them properly too. I think you can distinguish between them, though. Some of these folks that are growing a lot of these other Hass derivatives could speak more to it, because we're talking about Hass derivatives that have the name Hass in them. But a lot of these Southern California avocados are, Hass seedlings or grandchildren of Hass or whatever, and they have Hass genes, but they don't have Hass in the name. A lot of different names of avocados over there. And having not tried most of those, I couldn't really tell you, what the difference is going to be in terms of eating quality and flavor, and like, okay, is this one more nutty or creamy or what have you than the regular Haas or whatever. So.
Right. Well, there's Florida Haas, everybody, and Alex has these for sale for order. If you want to get a grafted tree, you can contact him and place a special graft order for them. And the description is on his website. I'll put the link below the video. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, everybody. That was Alex at Tropical Acres, and that was Florida Haas, another variety covered here. We're trying to get through all the varieties to just teach each other and teach you and learn about growing tropical fruit trees and avocados. And I have learned a good amount of things about avocados. I got very excited at one time. I had 17 varieties. You don't need 17 varieties. One variety will give you all the avocados you need, maybe 2 during the season. There's primarily 3 seasons. There's early, there's middle, and there's late. And if you cover those seasons, you could have avocados maybe 10 months out of the year, realistically 9 months out of the year. So just watch my videos and see which ones grow when. And you can get more if you like. I'm trying to do some in pots, but I got rid of some as well. So that is the Super Haas variety that I have there. I'm impressed with it. I like it. If you have any comments or questions, put that below the video. And also tell me what your favorite variety of avocado is to grow here in South Florida. Until then, everybody have a great day and keep growing.